Live, WITN First Alert News and certified most accurate weather start now.
Ahead on WITN First at 4, the manhunt for a murder suspect has entered another day, and law enforcement is asking the community to keep their Halloween celebrations low-key as they search nearby. We'll hear from some Vanceboro residents about their concerns as the search for Dominic Connolly continues. Plus, Kinston police have made another arrest in a shooting that left a man dead earlier this week. We'll share the connections the suspects have to each other and the victim next. Well, good afternoon and thanks for joining us here on First at 4. I'm Bailey Bockover. The manhunt for a Craven County murder suspect has entered another day. Deputies say Dominic Connolly is wanted for allegedly murdering his grandmother and for stabbing a deputy Wednesday night. The Craven County Sheriff's Office said thermal drone surveillance was used overnight to search the woods for Connolly. Sheriff Chip Hughes suggested the Vanceboro community should lay low this Halloween as the murder suspect is still at large. At least one church is taking the sheriff's advice, choosing to postpone a planned trunk or treat. Some community members say knowing that Connolly is still out there has them worried this Halloween.
If he's not caught and it's not safe, then obviously we don't want to sit out here, and we're hoping that people won't have their children out if it's not safe for them.
It's scary. I'm not really comfortable like leaving my kids anywhere without me or stuff like that. But also I don't want to put our life on hold just because of what's going on. We only get to do this once a year because it's Halloween.
If you have information on Connolly or his whereabouts, you should call Craven County Sheriff's Office or County Communications. Those numbers can be found on our website. And with many putting on their costumes and hitting the streets to trick or treat or have some other Halloween fun, it's important safety is kept in mind as well. Haley Hollinger was out talking to people in downtown Greenville about safety preparations ahead of nightfall. Haley?
Thanks, Bailey. And you might not be able to see too many people out right now, but I can assure you they are coming out and they're hoping to get in on that Halloween fun. Law enforcement, however, is reminding you that there are some precautionary measures to keep in mind. Halloween has always been a big holiday for Greenville, and with it falling on a Friday this year, crowd levels are expected to be larger downtown and in neighborhoods as trick-or-treaters try to snag as much candy as they can. The Greenville Police Department says it will be increasing its presence downtown. Captain Justin Wooten reminds groups to stay together during the busy Halloween weekend.
If you're going to go downtown or somewhere, you're going to take part in some Halloween festivities, I would always say go with a group, stay with your group of friends. I would suggest that you have a plan of how you're going to get there and how you're going to get back. Also, you can always call us if you see anything suspicious or feel unsafe. We'll be happy to check it out.
GPD says the increased police presence will last through Saturday night. Pitt County deputies and troopers with the Highway Patrol will also help keep people safe as they enjoy the holiday. In Greenville, Haley Hollinger, WITN News.
Well, thank you, Haley. And there won't be any roads blocked off downtown this year, so keep that in mind while traveling on and off the roads. Well, now let's take a look at our forecast with meteorologist Russell James. Russell, everybody's looking to head out to downtown Greenville tonight and other places. Are they going to need a jacket to bring with them?
You will. At some point, you're going to be needing it, especially if you're going to be out and about for this evening around 9, 10, 11 p.m. But at least in the short term, for any of you that are going to be trick-or-treating over the next few hours, temperatures are going to go from the low 60s down to around 51 degrees. You definitely see the dancing mummy there, mostly clear skies. Just be sure to carry at least 1 or 2 layers with you tonight if you are heading out. Right now we're sitting at 66 degrees, got a light breeze coming in from the west at about 8 miles an hour. Dew point sitting into the upper 30s, so fairly dry atmosphere overall. Most spots sitting into the mid to upper 60s, getting close to 70 near the coast. Now, as we head into the overnight hours, because temperatures are going to be dropping down into the 30s, we do have some frost advisories, mostly right along the I-95 corridor and then stretching west of Highway 17. Now, if you're east of Highway 17, you're basically looking okay, and generally with clear skies, things are going to be fine. Now, our first alert live radar active, showing the departing low pressure system all across the northeast. Meanwhile, for us, again, we're still seeing quiet conditions, and as we go through the next 24 hours or so, it's going to be like that. But as we go into Sunday, we'll be tracking our next coastal low that's going to be filtering in from the south. Notice the moisture increase as we go into Sunday evening and also going into early Monday morning. So something just to kind of put on your calendar going into early next week, just to have at least a rain jacket with you just in case.
Yeah, good to know. Alrighty, hopefully it doesn't mess up anybody's costume, right? And they are able to incorporate it. Thank you, Russell.
Tonight is going to be cold, so yeah, you just have to, just bundle up. Just try to be careful.
For sure. Thank you, Russell. Well, the ex-wife of a man police say was murdered in Kinston has now been charged in the case alongside her brother. Davida Rawl has been charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Police say they arrested her yesterday as their investigation into the deadly Manning Street shooting continues. Police say Davida Rawl and her brother Quandarius Rawl orchestrated the killing of her ex-husband, Rychek Harper. She's in Lenore County Jail without bond. And Chief Keith Goyette told WITN Quandarius Rawl claimed the shooting was in self-defense. However, police say their investigation led them to believe the shooting death was premeditated. The 21-year-old man called 911 and turned himself in about 45 minutes after the shooting, according to police. He's been charged with first-degree murder and possession of a stolen firearm. And Harper was found with multiple gunshot wounds at a home on Manning Street in Kinston Tuesday. The 31-year-old man died at the scene despite life-saving efforts. Detectives found Rawl's gun, which police say was reported stolen out of Rocky Mount. And a man will spend the next 8 years in prison after pleading guilty to a shooting at officer during a police chase. According to the Wallace Police Department, Gary Devane pleaded guilty to 2 counts of discharging a weapon into occupied property, possession of a stolen firearm, and 2 counts of assault on a law enforcement officer with a firearm stemming from a motorcycle chase with police on September 11, 2023. While trying to stop him as he rode into Pender County, police say Devane fired several shots at officers who were chasing him. The shots forced other drivers off the road, which led the officers chasing Devane to stop and make sure those people were okay. Police were able to locate and arrest Devane after Devane was sentenced to between 8.5 and 12 years in prison. Meanwhile, an active duty U.S. Marine has been arrested on accusations of kidnapping a 12-year-old girl from Indiana with the intent of sexually assaulting her, according to the FBI. 24-year-old William Roy, who was stationed at Camp Lejeune, flew to Chicago last week, met a girl in a park, and then took her to a hotel overnight before boarding a bus to Durham. The girl's grandmother first reported her missing on Friday. The FBI said it arrested Roy when he arrived in Durham Sunday, and the girl was safely recovered. If indicted, Roy could face being charged with enticing and transporting a minor across state lines for an illicit sexual act. Public records listed one working number that appeared to be associated with Roy, but the person who picked up declined to comment. The U.S. Marine Corps did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Well, Onslow County's 5th annual Veterans Powwow kicked off this morning in Jacksonville by welcoming students to Education Day. The powwow welcomed students from Dixon Middle School and homeschool students from around the area this morning for the purpose of learning more about Indigenous people. Dennis Zotai came from the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. to help teach about Native American culture. A descendant of Sitting Bear and No Retreat, both principal war chiefs of the Kiowas, Dennis worked as a writer and cultural specialist at the Smithsonian's National Museum of the American Indian. He told stories and performed traditional dances for the people in attendance and wants them to know that Native Americans still exist today. He told stories and performed traditional dances for the people in attendance and wants them to know that Native Americans do still exist.
You don't see natives like me on commercials. It just don't happen because we almost don't exist, and it's calculated by the people in charge.
The powwow continues this weekend at American Legion, where they will continue to celebrate Native American culture. Very neat. Well, still ahead, kids across the nation are putting the finishing touches on their costumes. One very special house did trick or treat big this year. We'll have more on Halloween at the White House coming up after the break. But first, let's take a look at our Halloween forecast. Russell?
Well, temperatures tonight are going to be dropping down into the 30s, and that could lead to some patchy frost in a few spots. We do have a frost advisory that's going to be lasting all the way into Saturday morning coming up. I'll have the full details in my full First Alert weather forecast.